just literally just got home. The storm last night was absolutely insane. Wait, I didn't really start this vlog, did I? No, I didn't. So, hi, hello. We are gonna be doing a reading vlog for Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I've been waiting for this book for a very long time. I bought the version of the cover that I liked the most. I got this on Book Depository, which reminds me, oh my gosh, no, that was the perfect segue. Cari. Great job for once. Let me pull up the information so that I tell you the correct things. So, Book Depository is an online bookstore that delivers worldwide. I live in Korea, so it's often like quite expensive to get books to come over here, but with Book Depository it is possible, and you can also pick. They have a lot of different versions, so I believe this is the British version. I just know that American book covers tend to be a little so it's nice that you can choose. They have like hardcover, paperback, etc. You can get whatever you want no matter where you are in the world. Anyway, they are giving a little end of the year discount. So from December 3rd till December 10th, if you use my code CARI10, you will get 10% off any fiction book. And the reason that it's only until the 10th is because they want to make sure that you get your books in time for Christmas. So ordering at that time would be an excellent idea, but also just be aware, I feel like everybody's holiday shopping is going to be messed up because of the world right now. Shipping is a little bit weird, but overall, you get your books. So thank you to Book Depository for giving y'all a discount, 10% off, lovely. But my thoughts on Addie LaRue. I am on page 78. Like I said, I knew a little bit about it, but I didn't know that it would take place in New York City. And man, and it's in like relatively modern day, even though it was, man, 2014 was 6 years ago. Okay, I digress. It's modern day. So my general feelings on the book is I really enjoy it so far. V.E. Schwab is like pulling out all the poetic writing stuff that she does. It's a little bit much for me because I just want to get into the action. It's a lot of scene setting. It's a lot of like flowery verse. Which makes it really beautiful to read, but if you want to like dive into the plot, it's a little like, come on V.E. Schwab, like let's go. I feel like it's a book that I'll appreciate more when I read it the second time, because right now I'm just itching to know the plot, and I think if I read it again the second time, I can actually like sink into the words and the feelings, you know? I don't know, I'm kind of an impatient reader sometimes, but I have a big old complaint because I have really been missing New York City. So I consider New York City like my second home. I went to university there, lived there for 3-4 years. I feel like I kind of grew up there in short spurts. I have been missing it so much. I don't know if it's just because I'm not allowed to go home or what, but I just have been like aching with missing New York City, and it has been made so much worse because I started to watch Dash and Lily's Book of Dares on Netflix. I haven't read the book, and it is almost freaky how I'm on episode 3 and they literally go to all of my favorite places. In the first scene, she's walking next to my coffee shop, Think Coffee, right next to the Strand, where I lost my credit card once, which was not fun, but they kept it and I got it back, which is great. I'm even in the book that I've talked about that I'm writing. It starts in the Strand and a whole lot of it takes place in Washington Square Park. But anyway, Addie, a big chunk of this so far has been taking place in New York, and the way that she talks about it, the way that she can just go into a movie theater. That was my routine in New York when I lived there. My Saturdays, I would just go to the IFC Center and I would watch whatever was playing. To have Addie kind of do the same thing, like I just felt so sad. But it made me like really love the book. Like I feel like I get Addie. I feel like I kind of am her, not her whole like curse, deal with the devil kind of thing, but the way that she goes about New York City. So Addie's whole curse is she has made a deal that she gets to be immortal, but the trick is that everybody forgets her. Like the second a door closes or she's out of sight, she is, you know, out of sight, out of mind. And I kind of felt that way when I lived in New York because I would always like walk around alone, and even though I kind of went to the same places, I never felt like people remembered me. It was always like I was just this stranger that walked in, and once I walked out, it was, you know, whatever. So the way that V.E. Schwab writes Addie's life in New York how she has all these really wonderful conversations or relationships with strangers, and then the next day, like, you never see them again or they don't remember you. It like physically hurt me to read those. I'm less than 100 pages in and it's already like stirred up a lot of emotions in me, clearly. I'm really excited to continue reading this. It was a wonderful, gloomy day. It kind of made reading this really nice. I had my window seat, had my little cinnamon scone and my hot coffee, and just poured over Addie LaRue. Had my fun time, and now it's the afternoon, so I get to work. So yes, okay. V.E. Schwab, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Let's go.
River wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Oh, dream maker, you heart breaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way.
Hi guys, so I'm in the mid 300s and I'm a little upset because it's like 3/4 of the book and nothing has really happened. It's starting to feel incredibly repetitive and I don't like one of the main characters. So I'm wondering if that is part of the plot or what. Also, when I said I really liked the poetic writing, I literally after that had to go back and see if this was done on purpose. It has since stopped, but the first like 200 pages, almost every chapter began with a simile and it sort of drove me crazy. So I don't know if it's just because I need a nap or because I was reading another book simultaneously, which is something I usually don't do, but I'm honestly like not into it, which is crazy for a V.E. Schwab book. But I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to step away from the book for a little bit. But yeah, man, 345, the page I am on, and I'm like,
Hello everyone, so I'm filming this a second time and my camera's gonna die, so we're gonna be quick. Here's the thing about The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. So I read from page about like 300 to the end, so I did like a marathon sprint and it's like 540 pages. And it was not the book that I expected and it wasn't the book that I wanted, and that's of no fault to V.E. Schwab. I feel like as an author, this was probably a story that she had to write. Like this was like just one of those stories that regardless of what was expected of her, like this was a story she felt that she needed to tell, and so I get that. I think that there were so many parts of this that I just didn't understand why they were there. Like this book was almost 600 pages. I think it could have been less than 300 pages. I think she was trying to comment about life and, you know, what makes a life important. To me, it was so character driven and I didn't fully love, there's basically only like 2.5 characters. I didn't really love one of them. I have felt no connection to one of them, so it was kind of like confusing and not super interesting to me, because how the book really goes is like first 300 pages are scene setting. And then we kind of change perspective for like a little bit. And then there's a thing that happens that you're like, okay, here comes the action. This is when things are gonna get real. And then the thingy kind of happens, but it doesn't really. And the ending is just, for me, the ending is like a sizzle. And I think she thought the ending was gonna be a zing. But I will say, in the beginning, I said that I felt very similar to Addie in many ways. And right down to the end, girl is stubborn as hell. When she was like going on 300 years and she was like, and it's still a no. Same, girl, same. I just don't know why we were in Germany. I don't know, there were just so many things that I maybe on another read I would understand, but as of right now, I just don't know why they were in the book. But I do think that it brought up some interesting things about immortality. I'm always interested in that because I've never given immortality a whole lot of thought before, like how complex it can be. The way that she did this, how Addie can have so many intense emotions and relationships with people. You know, people have their opinions about Cassandra Clare, but she also has a lot of characters that deal with immortality. In most books, we see a lot of like, they find their one true love and they're together forever. But immortality brings up a lot of interesting things where it's like, but you can have many great loves. You can love people just as much as another person that you did, you know, however many years ago. So I did appreciate it in that aspect, how you can live so many lives within one life, even if your life is only like a normal human lifespan. So I don't know, there were things that I really appreciated in this book. It made me miss New York City so freaking badly. I underlined a lot of lines. Like I said, it was beautiful writing. It got a little too much. Like I said, it was just like too long. I honestly think I might not have finished it if it hadn't been a V.E. Schwab book. I think that the timeline skipping as well was very confusing. I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to end this. I don't know. I think she had so many interesting points that she was trying to make, but she didn't really hit them home because she was too busy setting the scene. I feel like people who like The Night Circus and The Starless Sea, people who liked those books would also really like this book because, again, it was more just like ambiance than it was plot. And I feel like those two books were like 100% just aesthetic and not actual plot because I was so lost when I read those books. So I would say if those books are up your alley, this book is up your alley, but those books weren't my cup of tea. Anyway, I'm still so excited for the rest of V.E. Schwab's work. I still love her to death and I still have lots of underlined thingies. So what else can I say? So that was that. Once again, bookdepository.com if you want to buy any physical books, hardcover, paperback, etc. Until December 10th, you can use cari10 to get a 10% discount on any fiction book. Please note that it is only fiction books. And I will see you guys next time. We're at the end of the year. Happy December, by the way. Birthday month, Capricorn season. What's up? I will check in with you guys next week, okay? I promise to be less confused and less long-winded. And yeah, that's my review of Addie LaRue. So anyway, yeah, I will see you guys next week. Thank you for joining me, and please let me know your thoughts down below. Catch you later. Bye.